Hi guys, today we're going to review how to write linear equations from a graph, a table, and from a verbal description. Okay, let's get started. Here we have our graph. The first thing I want you to do on your paper underneath your graph is to write the slope-intercept form. If you don't remember, it is y equals mx plus b. And then we're going to explain a little bit more. The m, if you don't remember, equals slope, which also equals rise over run, which also equals the rate of change. Our b represents our y-intercept. Okay, now that we have our slope-intercept form and what each symbol stands for, we can go ahead and look at our graph. Now, the first thing we do is we are going to plot two pretty points. Now, most of y'all have been asking us, I just don't get what a pretty point is. You're going to see where your line, this line right here, crosses the x-axis, that's our horizontal lines, and our y-axis, which is our vertical lines. And where these two meet, a pretty point is they meet in the corner of one of these squares, okay? That's how we find a pretty point. So the first thing that I always do is I like to find my y-intercept because, let's face it, that is one of the pretty points. And it's basically where the line crosses the y-axis. This is the y-axis right here, okay? So I'm going to locate where on this line, and I see right here at the 0 for the x and the y is on the 6, that it intercepts at the 6. So I know that my y-intercept, and we can go over here, and hopefully you are typing this as we're going along. Our y-intercept is 6. Next thing we need to look at is from this pretty point of our y-intercept, we're going to find another pretty point. So that, again, is where the x and y axis, where the line crosses the x and y axis in one of the square corners. So I'm looking, that doesn't cross it, not there, not there. We're getting closer, and right there, it meets, our line meets at the corner of this square. So now I'm going to do our rise over run. And this is where I go to our y-intercept and I go, how many down did I go? I went 1 down and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that means that our rise is -1 because we are going down in our graph, in our line, over 4. So our rise over run is 4. -1 over 4. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start typing our equation. So I'm just going to start plugging in to our formula. Y equals, our slope was rise over run, so we had a -1 over 4x, and then we added our y-intercept, which was 6. Okay? Now, a good way to check this is if you go into Desmos, and I'm going to show you how, and hopefully it will show both screens. But I can go over here in Desmos and I can add a table. And I'm going to graph first my y-intercept was at 0. I don't know why it did it -0 and 6. And then the next point was at, I believe, 5, 4. Yep, that's where it is. And then I'm going to hit the regression. Oh, it was 4, 5. Sorry, 4, 5. There we go. 4, 5. And I hit the regression key, and look, negative 0.25x, which is the same as negative 1/4 x plus 6. So our graph was actually, our equation was actually correct. Okay. Now we're going to go on to our table. With the table, it's very simple because we can go in to our Desmos and it's going to do all the work for us. So I'm going to hit the plus key again. I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit table. And then I'm just going to copy all the coordinates over here, the points. And let's see, 4, 5, and 5, and 7. -5. There we go. And it's already plotted our points. And now I'm going to hit the regression key. And look, it gives me my equation right there. So my equation now is 2x minus 3. I didn't even have to figure that out. The Desmos did the whole thing. So I'm going to enter y. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Y equals 2x plus 3. And that is our equation for the table. All right, let's go on to our verbal descriptions. Okay, on verbal descriptions, it says Leo is renting a car while on vacation. He must pay a fixed fee of $150. Then he is charged a daily fee of $75 per day. We're going to write an equation that can be used to find the total amount Leo will pay Y after X number of days. Well, the first thing that I noticed and the first thing that you need to look at is we have some keywords here. Let's use purple. I know that this right here says it's a fixed fee. Fixed means it doesn't change. It stays constant. And if we remember from at the very beginning, our y-intercept is always fixed. Okay, our b is always fixed. So we have a fixed fee of $150. Okay, then we go over here and we have a daily fee of $70 per day. That means each day we're getting charged this $75. So we have all the information that we need to write our equation. So let's write our equation. Remember, we start off with y equals, what is our slope or our rate of change? Remember, I'm going to go up here. I know I said I was going to do the equation, but I just want to put a reminder right here that, oops, sorry. That sometimes happens. I'm going to put a reminder up here that that slope equals rate of change. Remember, we said that slope can equal the rate of change. Okay? We don't have a rise over run on this one, but we do have a rate of change. And our B, let's go in here. We're going to go over here. And our B is going to be our fixed / constant fee. Or you could say rate. All right, so now let's do our equation. So we got y equals our, what is our rate of change? It is right here when we do $75 per day. That is our rate of change. So we have 75x plus, and then we look at what is our fixed rate. Our fixed rate is $150. That will never, ever change. Okay, so then we plug that in, and we got 150. And that is our equation. So you have now done 3 different equations of writing for a graph, a table, and a verbal description. Now it's your turn to go back into your test. We're going to open it up for you, and you are going to make test corrections and fix all the questions you missed. Have a great day. Bye.